Good afternoon, good evening, and hello everybody. Welcome to Pit Road Productions. We've arrived at Portland International Raceway for round 8, the finale of the BiS Doppler IndyCar Championship. A new addition to iRacing, Portland is a tight, flowing circuit with heavy braking zones and tricky chicanes. And with lap times under a minute, the action will be fast, fierce, and relentless from lights to flag. It all comes down to this. After a wide open season featuring 10 different winners from 5 countries, the title fight is still alive. Shane Larson leads the standings, but Kostec Solo Edge is just 29 points back, with Ian Pagadala only 31 behind. With 65 points for a win, plus 1 point each for pole and fastest lap, and 2 races left to run, there are 132 points still up for grabs. Definitely not some zippy math there, ladies and gentlemen. This means that anybody inside the top 8 in the standings will have a mathematical shot at the title, and every position will matter. New track, fast laps, one last chance. The BiS Doppler IndyCar Championship finale starts now here at Portland. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a huge warm welcome. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the commentary booth today is going to be Reese, the Southpaw racer Gardner, alongside Christian Hill at the production booth. Reese, why don't we take a quick look here at our schedule?
Yes, indeed. It's been a long and hard-fought season in the BiS Doppler IndyCar Championship. We started off at Sebring, where we had Griffiths and Green taking victory. Long Beach saw Pagadala and Morris come through for victory, with Caden Goodridge and Shane Larson winning at Mosport. Larson, the only driver, aside from Jamie LeVay, to win more than one race this season. He shared Barber with Andrew Hardman. The Indy 500 won on debut by Matthias Marcamini, and LeVay absolutely dominated the street race at Detroit. Road America was the previous round, and we are here finally at Portland for round 8. And Zippy, I've been looking forward to this one for a very long time. This is one of my favorite tracks in the United States. Welcome to Portland International Raceway. Short, sharp, and absolutely unforgiving. Tucked into the heart of Oregon, this compact road course packs a punch into just under 2 miles and 12 turns. It may not have the sheer scale of some circuits, but don't let the lap time under 1 minute fool you. This is a pressure cooker. It all kicks off with the Festival chicane, a high-speed run into a heavy braking zone at turn 1. It's chaos on lap 1 and critical every lap after. Nail the entry and you're golden, miss it and you're bouncing over curbs or diving into escape roads. Turn 4 and turn 7 require rhythm and precision, medium speed sweepers that punish even a hint of hesitation. Then it's into the back straight, a prime push-to-pass zone, setting up a late move into the turn 10 complex. And just when you think you can breathe, the final corner waits to catch you out. One misjudged throttle stab, one twitch on exit, and you're wide, tracking toward the wall.
It's a circuit where the margins are microscopic. With short laps, traffic arrives early, mistakes are amplified, and strategy becomes a high-speed chess match. Drivers will need razor-sharp focus, discipline under fire, and mechanical grip when it matters most. This is Portland, a track that demands perfection over and over again. The 2025 BiS Doppler IndyCar Championship ends here. The stage is set, the pressure is sky high. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing. Before we do that, a quick word here from our sponsor. I tell you what, actually, change your plan. Let's have a look at the race details. Reese, you got them.
Yes, indeed. Well, we've run practice already. The drivers are in their open qualifying session of 15 minutes. We're going to have 2 races, as has been the case for the whole season, apart from the Indy 500, 30 minutes each. That's going to work out to 30 laps here at Portland. With a 5-minute warm-up in between, there is going to be a top 15 grid invert in race 2, which is going to be massive. Push-to-pass is available. Drivers have 10 operations of 20-second bursts of 50 horsepower. Fixed setup, but you can change anti-roll bars and brake bias. Drivers will need to stop for fuel in both races, and they're also going to have to change tires. You start on the soft, you need to change to the hard. Start on the hard, you need to change to the soft. And they need to use both tire compounds in both races. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. Plenty of opportunity here.
Well, let's take a very quick look at the points. As we're saying, Shane Larson currently the man on the top of the food chain with 498 points. Kostec Solo Edge only a few points behind in 29 points. As we said, anybody in this, I think it was top 8, has got a chance here for the contention for the win, ladies and gentlemen. So plus Ian Pagadala, he's up on the hot seat as well. He's 31 points back. Andrew Hardman, a BiS regular. Caden Goodrich, ladies and gentlemen, a real-life Radical driver with Mitch Green there in 6th. Clay Morris, who actually works for Radical, in 7th. And we had another driver there in 8th. I believe it was Michael Broomhead. Looking at the team standings as well, you can see Fury Simsport Black absolutely dominating right now. A good couple of names in there. Certainly a few battles going on throughout the field, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we've got quite a few people tied up. You see Robert Kobe there and Nicholas Calander having a bit of a battle there for P28. Fantastic stuff, Reese, fantastic. But now, I believe you actually have a word from our sponsor.
Yes, I believe we do. Secure your secrets with Doppler. Developers, stop storing API keys and credentials in plain text. Doppler is the ultimate secrets manager, built to keep your environment variables safe, organized, and always in sync across every team and every environment. With Doppler, you can manage secrets effortlessly, sync across local, staging, and production, eliminate ENV file chaos, and integrate seamlessly with AWS, Vercel, GitHub, and more. Join thousands of teams securing their workflows with Doppler. Start for free at Doppler.com today. Doppler, the secret ops platform developers trust. Big thanks to Doppler for supporting this entire season of this brilliant championship as we now get ready for further into the night. There's going to be plenty of massive racing here today, Zippy. And, well, we're getting ready for the end of qualifying and ultimately the grid. I'm going to be very interested to see this starting order. It looks like our championship leader is on pole position.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it's going to be an absolute belter. Definitely a little bit smaller on the attendance side this time around. I expect to see a few more drivers here, but definitely I'm giving a little bit of a shout out there to the 827 car of Clovis Girard, ladies and gentlemen. I had the pleasure of meeting him here in real life. He came over to Atlantic Canada. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get on to the grid. Shane Larson is going to be your pole sitter with a 58.819. Fantastic time. About 0.2 of a second over Kostek Solowedge. If we get back to the second row, Jamie LeVay, certainly, I think he's the only gentleman who's managed to get 2 wins here. He's managed to do it in 3rd place right now, alongside Caden Goodrich in 3rd and 4th. As we have a look at P5, Mr. Clay Morris is going to be alongside Ian Pagadala, heading a little bit further back. P7 will give us Andrew Hardman with Michael Broomhead alongside in P8, and Assad Nikardenbev with Mauricio Parada. I believe these guys are teammates. Look at that, look. Teams are on the 5th row. Closes out your top 10. Let's have a look at P11, the one and only Mr. Clovis Girard, alongside our very favourite Cedric O'Hyan for Lima Racing. We've got a little bit of an announcement regarding them a little bit later. Pit Road Productions' very own Richard Swindales is in P13, alongside John Bemblid, Lima Racing's finest as well, in P14. As we look at 15, another Lima Racing, ladies and gentlemen, is Matthew Mailman with Phil Nails alongside in 16th. Then closing out this 17-car grid for this evening, it's going to be Mr. Eric Benson.
Good to see Eric back on the grid. Haven't seen him in a couple of rounds, but not sitting a time in practice or qualifying. It's going to be difficult to judge his pace early on. Portland, of course, a very short circuit indeed, and doesn't have much in the way of elevation change. So it's all about mechanical grip and technical prowess, and being able to ride those bumps through turn 1. We'll get a slow motion tour around this circuit in just a few moments' time. Still waiting on our championship leader. There he is in the Hyperion number 31. Shane Larson takes to the grid. Oh boy. Get ready for the run down to turn 1 at slow speed as the pace car pulls away. And it's time to get things going for this formation lap. Zippy, 30 laps ahead of us.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a belter. And looking at the tyre strategy as well, I can see there's quite a bit of variance going on here. We've got a good, I'd say about a 60-40 split between them. Certainly a couple of them going on the softer tyres, a couple of them going for the hard. Thank you, there we go. Our producer there popping it up beautifully there. Shane Larson's gone for the hard. I think Kostek Solowedge is going, I think I'd be going more with a strategy that himself, Caden Goodrich and Andrew Hardman, and certainly Sana Kanbao and Mauricio Parada. Actually, I'm not going to read them all out, but you get the idea. Certainly, I'd be going with the softer tyre at the start. I want to have as much grip available at the start, get a bit of heat fired there into those tyres as quickly as possible, and certainly try and use that to make up a few positions early on. But certainly, again, with this being one of the shorter laps as well, how is the tyre strategy going to have an impact in that? I mean, you've got to wonder as well, just exactly what's going to go on here. Definitely a new track for me. Certainly seems to be well, Sesby wants to be one of Reese's favourites, and as we say here on Pit Road Productions, it's sort of become a turn of phrase as it is, a princess-approved track, it would seem.
Yes, yes, yes. If I was the princess of my own kingdom, this would be one of the tracks I would include. It's a simple layout, it's fast, it's short, it's everything that I love in a racetrack, and especially in these downforce cars, you can carry a huge amount of speed through those corners. Coming down this back stretch as well, you got to be careful of the wall on the right-hand side. It threatens to suck you in, and you have to run all the way up to it for the braking zone for turn 10. So, difficult track here at Portland, one with a lot of history as well that we'll delve into over the course of the broadcast. But for now, looks like we're getting ready for yet more history to be made here, Zippy, in the sim racing world, because we got a championship on the line for Shane Larson, our pole sitter, and he's going to be taking the start very shortly.
Absolutely, and certainly this is obviously going to be a new track to a lot of the sim racers here as well. A lot of these BiS Doppler IndyCar Championship competitors. We're actually going to see exactly who has managed to get the practice in, as they are indeed coming round the final corner. Looks like a nice friendly pit entrance at the very least. Certainly some of them can be a little more unforgiving indeed. So it looks like we are indeed away. Shane Larson's going to take to the lead, ladies and gentlemen, able to get a good little bit of a pull there with Kostek Solwich going alongside Jamie LeVay as they make their way down into turn 1.
That's very wide there for Sauvier, and he's going to have to cut across the chicane there. Second in the championship and already on the back foot, having to serve a slowdown penalty for cutting across the chicane there. Filing down the order. Shane Larson, though, remaining in the lead. Jamie LeVay taking second, and Caden Goodridge rounding out your top three for the moment.
That's how it stands so far. Right now, if I have a look at the hard charger, is currently a tie between Ian Pagadala and indeed our very own John Bembelit for the Lima Racing boys. They've gained 2 positions apiece each.
Yeah, they certainly have. Some good runs up there from the Lima guys as we make our way to turn 10 at speed for the first time. The field has sorted itself out into single file. Can't really make passes in IndyCar at that section of the circuit, but if someone messes up the exit of the final corner, then you could have a go into turn 1. First lap down, and Shane Larson is leading by 0.7 of a second, exactly what he needs at this point.
Definitely want to try and pull away as much as you possibly can. Certainly, if you've got a bit of clean air, you can start to gain on that gap and certainly not worry about the car behind you. It's just you versus the track at that point. You can focus on your strategy. It looks like the curves here actually do appear to be quite friendly. I don't think you're going to struggle too much unless you get incredibly greedy with it there. Certainly, some of the curves and some of the tracks, I'm thinking Road Atlanta probably would be that exit curve after the S is particularly aggressive as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Portland was upgraded in 2007 and given sort of FIA-style curbs. So they are pretty brutal if you run over them the wrong way. They are proper sawtooth curbs, these, and if you want to look after the tyres, keep the car stable, you need to avoid running too far over them. Larson is absolutely nailing this at the moment on push to pass down the front straight. Goodridge and Pagadala going to be fighting there. Sauvier hasn't fallen back as far as I thought he would. He's only back down to 5th, and he's managing to keep in touch with Goodridge and Pagadala as well. Worth pointing out that Sauvier is one of the drivers that has started on the softer alternate compound tyre, and it looks like a wing missing there for Arjan Pagadala. That's going to hurt him through the opening sector.
Yeah, definitely not what he had in mind. It looked like it's going to be a pretty much sit and duck here to the 64 there at Kostek Solwich. Certainly, and it looks like the pressure is indeed on. And you certainly, if you guys are in Pagadala, you got to weigh up the pros and the cons. I mean, you can try and fight this, try and hang on, but realistically, he needs to be able to limp that car to the pits. Getting damaged this early in the race could be catastrophic for his championship chances. As it looks like there's another wing missing here on the car. It's just refreshing the paint right now. No, that is indeed Ian Pagadala. My apologies there. As you can see there, the lack of downforce certainly proving to be a little bit of an issue there as he makes his way through the corner.
Yeah, definitely had some good speed on Kostek Solvier, but unfortunately that wing missing is not helping him out. It's going to bring him back in touch with Clay Morris, Andrew Hardman, and Asad Nikardenbev at the back of this pack as Larson goes fastest. First driver under a minute in lap time in the race. Hardman passing Morris there. It looked like a bad run out of the first chicane for the number 48, but they're side by side behind Pagadala here. Have a look at this. Can Hardman fight back? He is on the soft tyres, so is Nikardenbev, but harder tyres for Clay Morris and for, basically everyone else in this pack, as that was a bit out of nowhere there for Nakatembev. Gets the move done on the exit of the hairpin, but Hardman's got the inside for turn 10. This could be difficult.
Yeah, certainly Nakatembev is not one to back out of a fight. Like maybe a little bit of a netcode rather to go side by side, and Hardman's just absolutely shot off. Michael Broomhead being a great camera car for that, as Hardman trying to get that car slowed down, gets a little bit of a tank stopper going, but thankfully able to avoid the wall, plummeting down through the order. That's 3 positions, 4 positions now. He's dropped down as Cedric O'Hyan makes his way past, and so does Eric Fenson, the new hard charger, ladies and gentlemen, up an incredible 6 positions so far.
Yeah, great stuff from Eric Fenson. And Hardman, okay, got a bit rear-ended by one of the Lima cars there. Looks like that was Benvalid, who unfortunately becomes the next driver to lose half of their front wing. That's not ideal. I think we're going to be seeing a bit more of that before the night is done. Another position up for Nakatembev, meanwhile. Clay Morris is fighting hard with him. And, well, Nakatembev has tried making the move at turn 10 before, and it resulted in Hardman going off. Is the same going to happen here for Clay Morris? He does have the soft tyres, but it's not quite enough. Looks like Morris is going to do it for him. Clay Morris is off at the final corner, and it looks like Broomhead's off too.
It appears to be that is a little bit of a temperamental braking zone, or indeed somebody did indeed throw a banana on the track. You see Broomhead there for the Doppler Britannia iSports team, definitely getting a little bit of publicity, but not the one he's looking for. Looks like Benvalid following there into the pits. Broomhead, fair to say, looks like he's been playing some hockey there. He's a broken nose as he makes his way down pit road.
That's not ideal. So Morris was able to avoid damage, but Broomhead just flat out went too hard into turns 10 and 11 and went straight into the barrier. Nakatembev, meanwhile, looking at P5 here with the stricken Ariane Pagadala still struggling out there with only half the front downforce on his car. Broomhead and Benvalid are through the pits and they have changed their tyres. So Benvalid now on the hard and Broomhead on the soft. Have a look at the speed that Nakatembev can carry here as he sneaks up the inside, and it looks like that's cost him half of his front wing as well. Contact between Nakatembev and Pagadala. Put them together, they have one car's worth of front downforce as they come down the front straight.
You literally read my mind on that one, Reese. I was thinking exactly the same thing. But you know what? I call this, it's now spec racing, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're going to get now between Nakatembev. But I say that, I believe these two tyres are indeed on different compounds. Pagadala there on the harder compounded tyre, so in theory Nakatembev should have it game, set and match, but I've got to say Pagadala putting up a fantastic defensive effort so far. He's at a bit of a disadvantage, but still overall for his race so far up 1 position.
Yep. Doing all right, all things considered, but looks like Pagadala and now Nakatembev will be the cork in the bottle for Clovis Girard and Eric Fenson. Fenson is up a crazy amount of positions now, up from 17th to 8th, and it looks like he's going to go for 7th there up the inside of Clovis Girard in the background there. Good job from the Australian. I'm happy to see that. That's my little bit of bias showing. But let's see what he can do versus Pagadala and Nakatembev here. 23 laps to go for these drivers. And we're getting ready for yet more action to come here through the chicane. They clatter over the curbs there. The suspension of these Indy cars doesn't deal too well with that.
It's pretty stiff, but we've got a little bit of race technique here from Christian Hill, our producer in the brief. He thinks that for a clockwise circuit, a left side wing would be best. So there you go. There's Christian's take on it, ladies and gentlemen, as it looks like Nakatembev has dropped back a little bit, and the Australian, the Eric Fenson, that sounds so formal, is looking to try and make a move, not just make a move, but make a move on the outside. And it's fair to say he didn't quite manage to get it done, but while he's doing that, he is indeed going to be under attack. Clovis Girard right behind him, Andrew Hardman right behind him as well. Obviously, Hardman had a little bit of a slight detour earlier. The car is intact. Can he capitalize on that? As there goes Fenson.
Oh,
and, don't get me wrong, he got past, but he's definitely going to be getting a little bit of a slowdown from that one.
Yeah, he's going to have to lift off down the start-finish straight for that one. Hardman, looks like Pagadala's come into the lane here. So And that's going to be another move to the pits there as Bev fails in passing Eric Fenson, who it looks like might have just cleared the slowdown. Good to see. He managed to recover from that very nicely. But Hardman is only one car behind Bev now. And remember, they came together before. That's the reason that Hardman has had to fight his way back up here in the first place. Now that... Oh, hello. Is that one of the Lima cars? Yeah, that's Mailman, who's gone off in the first sector.
I think he just wanted to sit down and watch the race, and I've got to say, you know, that's one way of getting a front row seat for it. Certainly this is going to be a fantastic battle here between Bev and Hardman. Hardman, I find he's quite a well-mannered driver, a little bit more cool, calm and collected than myself behind the wheel. And fair play to him. That's honestly probably a good portion of this field. Certainly, I'm actually thinking of Morgan Smith, who can remember a certain incident involving me and an official Cadillac race and somebody brake checking me in a chicane. You can imagine how I felt about that. There goes Clovis Gerard, ladies and gentlemen. We were saying earlier, we actually got to meet him in real life here at Atlantic Canada. He was helping out. Actually, I say helping out. He was playing on a laptop, which I think he claimed was being part of the team. Don't ask me what he was doing. Maybe I'm not quite giving him enough technical recognition for some of the stuff he can do, but he was working with a GR86 team that was delivered, driven by Jonathan Mansour, if I believe. Just going off memory here, but I will indeed look it up in a few short moments. But certainly it was good to get to meet him in real life, see him come down and take in my local track, ladies and gentlemen, of Atlantic Motorsport Park.
Yeah, indeed. Getting some real-life gigs is it'd be good to see. We saw Bev just come into the pits as well when we were following this battle, so he's repaired his front wing. Now it is between Gerard and Hardman, and Cedric O'Hyan is starting to creep up on them here as well. 101.8 on the last lap for O'Hyan. That was almost a full second faster than Gerard and Hardman, so it looks like O'Hyan is on a charge here. Mauricio Parada, meanwhile, becomes the next car to pit. It looks like gradually the soft tyre runners are starting to realise that these tyres aren't going to last that much longer. It's a pretty warm track, 39 degrees Celsius. Not too bad, but you still want to get on those hard tyres as soon as you can.
You say that's not too bad. I appreciate everything's a bit bigger, a bit hotter in Australia, Reece. Certainly I would not be manly enough to live in a country as formidable as Australia. Even nature wants to kill you out there, but 39 degrees, I'd say that's pretty flipping warm in my book. Certainly we have to see those temperatures here, but damn,
it is toasty for air temperature. For a racetrack on iRacing, though, it's pretty average. I mean, I would class around sort of 20-ish degrees as cold in iRacing as Gerard comes into the lane. It's once you start getting over 40 degrees that the track really starts to get slippery in iRacing. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that as we go on further through this virtual afternoon. Gerard will jump onto the hard compound, and we've had pit stops run about 7 to 8 seconds. So Gerard looks like has split the difference right in the middle, 7.4 seconds, and he's still making his way out of the lane. He falls back behind Pagadala and Phil Nels, who has yet to come into the lane. O'Hyan chasing Morris, meanwhile. Hard exit out of the final turn, and we'll see if they can catch up any to Caden Goodridge, who's only a few seconds up the road.
So it's going to be interesting as well, see how the strategy plays out. Speaking of strategy, I'm keeping an eye on the push to pass here, Reece, and it looks like Matthew Mailman is absolutely been smashing that button himself. Eric Fenson and Ian Pagadala very, very hard on the push, certainly, yeah. But a lot of the drivers not even really touching it. Kostek Solowaj, he's not used any of his push pass. Jamie LeBay, barely even a hair of it. So certainly some very interesting tactics going on here at Portland.
Yeah, we are focusing on LeVay and Solovier as we speak, and yeah, it is a battle of the hard tyre versus the soft tyre. Solovier will likely be the first to pit, and as we've seen, the soft tyre runners come in after about 8 to 11 laps so far. I think Solovier might be the next car we see dive into the lane, but he's going to avoid it this time. He thinks he's still got some pace to give.
Certainly he's got to definitely keep his foot in it. Certainly the Polish driver as well. It's going to be incredibly late out there. I can tell you the UK is about 4 hours ahead, so that would put them Keep on, well, the majority of this broadcast is watching in Eastern Canada, so it's about 9 o'clock there, so that'll be 5 hours, I think that's 6 hours ahead. Reese, you want to do the math a second here?
Yeah, EST, I think Sauvier will be racing in the wee hours of the morning. I think works. Around about 2 in the morning, probably in Poland at the moment.
Damn, that's commitment, ladies and gentlemen. That is 100% commitment.
Certainly is, but Kostek's commitment has paid off. He's been one of the most consistent competitors of the season, one of the fastest drivers as well, second in the championship coming into this round. It's certainly been profitable for him.
Yeah, definitely been doing it really, really well so far. Certainly some good stuff there, and I've got to admit, I'm certainly not really seeing too many hot bouts going on right now. But as I say that, other than this one, you see Jamie LeVay is indeed trying to hold on. He's got about 0.4 of a second, and both of these drivers very, very similar on the push to pass, just 2 digits in it between them. So definitely a lot left on the table, but about halfway through the race, I do wonder how it's going to play out. Both these drivers as well yet to make a pit stop. The highest placed pit stop driver is indeed Caden Goodridge, currently in P9.
Yep, Goodridge just coming out of the pits a lap ago with 12 laps on the soft tyre and 1 lap completed thus far on the hard tyre. Bit of traffic here for Kostek and Jamie, and they're making their way through on Phil Nels there, lets them through at turn 10. Then there's Mauricio Parada, who's looking for a bit more here. He's one of the drivers that's fallen down the order from his starting position, 10th to 14th. And this track is so short and the pace up the front so different from that of the rear that we are seeing quite a bit of lapped traffic happen.
Yeah, so I love lap traffic, and I'm one of the drivers who I will try and use them to my advantage and see if I can kind of place them and use them to hold up my opponent. Certainly, you can start to make a run, but then all of a sudden you can play a little bit of peekaboo sometimes, and the guy fighting you ends up running to the back of lap traffic. Certainly, Jamie LeVay, definitely no slouch here. Certainly, you can see the personalized wing as well. I've got to say that's a pretty nice sign writing going on the back of that 444 machine. But currently, right now, he's in P2, and we're about 16 laps into this race so far.
Yep. Half down, half to go, and Shane Larson leading by nearly 6 seconds. The championship leader is poising himself to get a comfortable margin here in the second last race of the season. And oh no! Oh, just as I say that, I've cursed Larson. He's lost his front wing as one of the Lima cars of Mailman came out of the pit lane and swiped across the front of him.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to see a replay of that one. Maybe a unsafe pit exit, maybe a little bit of a shock there by Larson. We'll have to take a quick peek here as the producer gears up. You see Richard Swindell's actually now in Pagadala getting on that. Plus the patch, but Matthew Mailman, I can confirm, does indeed have a meatball flag and has towed to the pits.
Yeah, I think this is going to force an early pit stop for Larson. He might have to change his strategy up a bit here, get a new front wing on the car and get that tyre change out of the way. But he's going to be spending half the race on the soft tyre, which we don't know is going to be the best course of action. So here's Mailman coming out of pit lane, and you'll see Larson come up on him here. So Mailman was a bit hesitant coming out of pit lane. He was trying to let people by, and then Larson comes in here, and Mailman tries to avoid, but it was just too short of a distance to turn 1, and Larson couldn't really do anything other than completely cut the chicane there.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate incident, and definitely not one I'd really want to steward on that one. I'm not really sure how I would call that. Like, the intentions were good, maybe the execution just didn't quite get there. It would end up being an execution, actually, in fact, of Shane Larson's front wing. But you see now, he has been through the pits, ladies and gentlemen. That front wing has indeed returned. Oh, dear.
Yeah, you see that was Larson's perspective there. He was probably hoping that he could find a way through, but he is out of the pits. He's got a fresh front wing, and well, thank goodness for fast repairs, because otherwise that would have been a very difficult incident for him to deal with leading the championship coming into the final round. He is on the soft tyres. Now all he has to do is manage the pace, manage the wear of the tyre, and he should still be able to stay ahead of Sauvier and LeVay. Speaking of LeVay, he's just come into the lane.
It's going to say we've seen a little bit of a switch around on place as well here, because last time I checked, Solway was indeed behind Jamie LeVay. So what on earth has been happening? All of a sudden we get a little bit of a quiet spot and everything happens at once. I mean, he may have pitted, but damn, like he's absolutely slingshot ahead. But I think it's going to happen with John Benderlid as well. I see a crash warning for him for lap 16.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the latest in a long line of incidents that's happened in this race thus far. Sauvier continuing on for another lap. He is making those soft tyres really last well. We have pit stops also happening for Clay Morris and Andrew Hardman. Caden Goodridge is going to filter through into, I think, effective fourth. We'll see if Jamie... oh yeah, actually, hang on a minute. Yeah, LeVay has passed Larson. That's interesting there. That's the change for position as Larson makes his way through. Sorry, Zippy, I thought you were talking about Kostek when you were making those remarks earlier.
I was.
You were? Well, okay, right. Well, yeah, fact of the matter is, Sauvier didn't pit and LeVay did pit, so that's why they changed the position, but I'm more surprised by Shane Larson losing the spot to Jamie LeVay through the pit cycle. Obviously, lost some pace with the lack of a front wing on the in-lap for Larson, but he's made short work of getting back past into the effective second place. Sauvier's come out ahead.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see how this is going to change out. Right now, Larson is indeed about 9/10 of a second behind the, I say the pole sitter is currently Eric Fenson. He's not yet pit, ladies and gentlemen. And fair play to him, he's currently up 16 spots. That's pretty impressive in the 17-car grid. I've got to give him that. It literally doesn't get any better than that for him, I believe. He started at the back of the field, so fair play to him. That's definitely a last to first, but he does indeed have to make that pit stop. The only other driver yet to make the pit, two drivers actually, is indeed Richard Swindell's, the famous, I believe, if he's not fast, but he'll make it last, I think is his catchphrase we've got going for him at the minute, the number 16 car. Pit Road Productions' very own finest, and indeed Phil Nels, currently resting in P14 in the 1-2-3 machine.
Yes, only one retirement from this race so far in the form of Matthew Mailman. Eric Fenson, next driver to come into the lane. We are still waiting on Swindells and Nels to find their way into the lane as Sauvier has to defend from Jamie LeVay. Sauvier on the back foot in this battle now because he started on the soft tyre and has changed to the hard. So LeVay and Larson, especially since they've had a couple more laps on those tyres, they have a big pace advantage. So Sauvier is going to have to defend like an absolute animal here. Okay, Fenson, it looks like, has just spun through turn one there on his way out of the pits. Cold tyres, not ideal. Keep an eye, though. Oh dear, it's gotten even worse for him. There was another spin just after. Sauvier has defended from LeVay coming into turns 10 and 11. But I feel like it's only a matter of time before we see that move from Jamie as the weave is on here for Sauvier. He's going to go defensive into turn one.
You can see that both of the drivers are, actually Shane Larson as well, getting on that push to pass as we see a fastest lap there from your current pole sitter, ladies and gentlemen, of Shane Larson. Somehow he has managed to recover all the way up to lead, but right now Jamie LeVay is in a hot pursuit. He does have these softer tyres, but does he have more skill, more pace to get up and around the number 64 of Kostek Soloway?
Yeah, he needs to be careful not to work those soft tyres too hard. It's going to be difficult for sure, but if anyone can do it, it is Jamie LeVay. He overcomes really tough conditions on the regular. Case in point, his run in Detroit, winning both races by a solid margin. So great points haul in the latter half of the season. Potentially, we've seen a spin very recently from Clovis Girard as well. Mauricio Parada has come back into the pits. It's twice now for the 81. He is back on the soft tyre again and has fallen a lap down on our leaders.
Yeah, definitely don't think it's a long enough race to justify a two-stop there, so maybe having a couple of technical difficulties, maybe didn't put enough fuel in the car as well, but you'd think you'd go a little bit longer. Certainly sometimes it's you just got to make sure you've got all them buttons ticked, but right now Jamie LeVay, it really is the fight going. Actually, as I say that, Clay Morrison and Sarah Nicardenbev are going hard at it as well. I believe they might even be side by side fighting for P7.
Yeah, they were. Nicardenbev falls back behind Morris, though, coming out of the first chicane. This is another battle where drivers are on two different tyres. Nicardenbev has been on those hards now for 13 laps. Morris still on reasonably fresh alternates, so it looks like Morris might have the pace advantage for now, but we know how aggressive Nicardenbev can be. If there's a battle, he's going to fight it. Yeah,
definitely. He's a feisty one. It's Nicardenbev. I can't keep him now. Given a chance to race from the go-kart, like this guy is literally a sponsored driver in a car, and as competent as I think I am, I wouldn't even stand a chance, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen him on the racetrack. He's quicker than me. What's he going to be like in a go-kart that he drives regularly? I do not stand a chance, but fair play to him, and certainly looking to see him develop, certainly as the years go on. He's got a lot left ahead of him, but right now, right ahead of him is Mr. Clay Morris there in 7th place.
Fastest car on track that lap was Eric Fenson on fresh alternate tyres, and Sauvier has found his way past Jamie LeVay. The number 64 is in 2nd place, but things are starting to get interesting between them. I just saw it was incredibly close between Sauvier and LeVay coming through turns 10 and 11. Very nearly contact, and they're both on push to pass here. LeVay doesn't want to let this go.
Yeah, he's certainly fighting for it. It's good to see him having a battle. So far, he's been a very consistent driver, but he does have that softer tyre. But can he make his stick? Certainly on push to pass right now. He does have a little bit more left on the reserve. Dan Kostek, but is he going to be able to capitalise on that with just 5 laps left to go of this race?
Yeah, we are rapidly approaching the end. Shane Larson over 5 seconds in the lead. He recovered very well from his coming together with Matthew Mailman. Nicardenbev's come back into the pit lane. That's the 2nd stop there for Nicardenbev. I'm not seeing a black flag to his name, so I'm not sure why he's come in. But that's not ideal for Assad, who was looking at another position.
It does look like he went off track on lap 24. We'll have to keep an eye on his incident points. It does show me that he's got 13. If I have a look, actually, is his teammate Mauricio Parada. He has 9, so I definitely don't think it was a drive-through. I'll have to double-check what the instant point limit is, but certainly an unfortunate situation here as we go back on board with LeVay. You see there trying to get as much exit as he can, cut that corner a little bit, but right now Kostek doing an absolutely fantastic job of holding him off. LeVay driving the wheels off this car at this point.
Yeah, that first chicane, you've got to be careful not to go too deep into it. That's what we saw LeVay do. He was carrying a bit too much speed at the first apex, and he ended up understeering through the 2nd apex. Kostek, on the other hand, was positioning it for a slow in, fast out exit, and that benefited him coming into the next couple of turns. Well, LeVay is responding well to Kostek and his usage of push to pass, but I think the gap might be too big to overcome at this point unless lap traffic comes into account. And guess what? Here's Richard Swindells right ahead of this 2nd place battle. Swindells isn't going to hold them up too much. He pulls over there on the start-finish straight and lets the both of them go.
As much as I hate to admit it, a very gentlemanly move there by Swindells, but fair play to him. I'm definitely a little bit more feisty there. As you see, LeVay is doing everything he can. He's got 3 laps to go to try and get himself up onto the 2nd spot of the podium, but is it going to be enough? He's 6 tenths behind right now. Can he close in that gap and not just close it, make his way up and ahead of the 64? As I can tell you that John Benvelin has just been black flagged.
Oh no, yeah, Benvelin having a really rough race. He's come in for a stop. I think it might have been an unsafe pit entry for him, or speeding on the lane. It's been a difficult one for the Lima Racing crew. Hopefully they'll be able to turn things around for the 2nd race. Don't forget, there is a top 15 grid invert, so that means that the way the positions are now, Benvelin has pole for the 2nd race.
I did actually wonder if that was a tactic that Nicardenbev was going for, actually just try and go, okay, this race isn't going to give me what I need, and go for that invert, try and pull away at the start of the pack, which is exactly what Shane Larson's done right now. He's got almost a 5-second gap out in P1.
Yeah, brilliant job from Shane Larson. 2 laps to go as LeVay runs deep at the first turn. Yeah, he was threatening to do that for a while, I think. He was very aggressive on the way into the first corner, and ultimately the fronts have decided, no thank you, we don't like that. And so Jamie needs to just bring things back a little bit. I think the battle with Sauvier might be over now.
Yeah, certainly he was definitely pushing that car, trying to get even a little bit more pace out of it. And right now, if I have a look at the last lap, really not a lot between them, just about a tenth, 2 tenths between them. So definitely a good battle indeed. Despite the 64 being on that harder tyre, he's really managed to make it work for him. As Shane Larson currently leading the race. You've seen the Cardenberg right behind him, back in P11. Larson able to get a couple of cars lapped here at Portland.
Yeah, final lap begins, and this has been a champion's drive in this first race of the night. Larson has been in control the whole time, even in spite of the issues that he suffered. One more lapped car to make his way past, potentially, depending on how fast he catches him. I mean, the gap to Sauvier is enough that Larson can afford to just coast here on this final lap, but you never know. He might be wanting to improve on that fastest lap that he currently has, but regardless, a few more corners to go, and it looks like, yeah, he is backing off a bit there on the final lap. Larson putting himself in a position here for one hand on the trophy, Zippy.
It's definitely going to be a good sense of security there, as he's should be just taking the white flag on this one, I believe, getting ready to start that final lap, as he is indeed holding it. But it looks like we're going to get a battle back in P5. If we take a quick look at that, it looks like it might actually be a freeway battle between Ian Pagadala, Caden Goodrich, and Andrew Hardman.
Yeah, it looks like Hardman's been catching up to Pagadala and Goodrich, and saw some big oversteer for Goodrich on the exit of the final corner. So that's another battle we'll have to keep an eye out for, but give Shane Larson his dues. He has been the star driver of this season. But we'll see then. The final few corners come, and yeah, it doesn't look like there's much movement in that Pagadala-Goodrich battle, so we can give them their attention a little bit later. Here comes Shane Larson to victory, checkered flag out, and it's going to be the win for the number 31 for Hyperion Racing. Larson puts one hand on the trophy.
Yeah, definitely a position of confidence going into that next round. As you see, Caden Goodrich now getting really spicy there with Ian Pagadala. Certainly both of these drivers will indeed fight. You saw Pagadala's barely hanging on, just found an infinite amount of grip somehow. I thought he was honestly going to go off, but Caden Goodrich able to only lose one position from that race and coming across the line there in P5. Andrew Hartman about 8 seconds behind him in P6.
I saw Hardman clobber the wall on the exit of the final corner in the background there as well. So he was pushing hard to the end. But Shane Larson will be very happy with this maximum haul of points from race 1 with that extra point for pole position and for the fastest lap as well. He's put himself in prime position to take the championship once this night is done. But there is still potential for some change. We mentioned at the top of the show that 8 drivers are in contention for the championship coming into this round. I think there's going to be a few less now with that result.
Yeah, as much as we love Mr. Broomhead, he was barely hanging on in that bracket, and after a race of getting P15, and don't get me wrong, he may get a pole in this one. I'm not going to try and do. I'm not confidence there for my comrade. I'm not going to try and do the math. We know how well that's going to go down. But let's maybe take a quick break. And actually, no, we should do the results first, Reese. We should do that. Let's do those.
Yes. I think that's a very good idea. So, P1, Shane Larson, unstoppable in this race with Kostek Sauvier and Jamie LeVay rounding out your podium. And it was a long gap back to Pagadala and Goodrich, 4 tenths apart. Hardman catching up to them in the final laps. Clay Morris in 7th spot. And we saw Fenson, O'Hyan and Gerard round out your top 10. Great drive from Fenson to get in the top 10 after starting dead last. In 11th place, a lap down, it was Asad Sadnik Kardenbev, with Richard Swindells and Mauricio Parada joining him there. 2 laps down for Phil Nels, Michael Broomhead and John Benvalid, and Matthew Mailman, the sole retirement from the race. So that's going to bring things around, and well, we're going to take a moment for a word from our sponsor, Doppler.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and we're going to get ready for the final race here of the BiS Doppler IndyCar Championship 2025. But before we get into that a bit too much, and while the action does indeed heat up at the track, our good friends and fellow racers at Lima Racing are turning up the excitement with a giveaway, ladies and gentlemen. They're giving away 2 silver tier tickets to the 2025, what's his name, the Honda Dealers Indy, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly it's a street circuit there in Toronto. Certainly, yeah, I've actually had the pleasure of knowing one of my friends who's actually driven around now. But anyway, plus some pretty cool team merch as well. I hear they've got hats. Was it hats, bracelets, and there was one more thing as well. Please forgive me there, Cedric. But certainly, I will double check on that in a little bit. But basically, if you want to get in on that, you got to head over to their Instagram. You can see it there at the bottom of the screen, Lima Racing Official. Give them a follow, give them a little bit of love as well, and that's your chance to enter and potentially win a 2 silver tier tickets to the 2025 Honda Indy, ladies and gentlemen, for July 18th to 20th. Give it a huge load of love for these guys. We have the BiS logo and indeed the Pit Road Productions logo on 2 of these race cars. So fair to say, when they want to run a promotion, I am 100% going to make sure we get that on the air.
Absolutely. Big thanks to Lima Racing for allowing us the honor of promoting this promotion that they have. I mean, yeah, fantastic to see the PRP logo on the car as well. I know you were a big fan of that, Zippy, and yeah, I hope that I can make it to Canada at some point in the next few years, because I would like to attend the Honda Indy Toronto and maybe meet a couple of the BiS guys on the way as well.
Yeah, certainly. I definitely, it's on my to-do list. Fair play. I've definitely got to make up there. I think my boss is actually heading up there as well. Maybe we're just a pair of us just fly up there. Well, so maybe we can even drive a Radical while we're there. I did actually inquire with Rob to get a price on a rental for my boss, and it's fair to say I feel very, very lucky to be offered a drive in that after seeing that. Certainly, what an experience. So certainly, I know we're doing IndyCar, but we're still going to promote the BiS Radical Canada Cup as well. I mean, can you blame me? Certainly some good stuff there, but. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, certainly, and definitely looking forward to this last race as well, Reece. I'm hearing that Richard Swindells is actually going to sit this one out. He just want to get involved in the championship battle, and honestly, I've just told him to get stuck in. Don't worry about it. You know, he's generally very safe on track. He's had 0 incidents, and I'll tell you what we are going to do. Let's actually drag him in here. Richard, I was just basically letting the world know how you're not going to do this final race and how I'm basically calling you out for it. Let's get your thoughts on the BiS Indycar Championship battle so far.
It's been fabulous, Zippy. Lots of good, hard racers, and I'm not one of them, but I think I did the Pit Road Productions livery kind of proud, and I got a 3rd once, so it was a fun season, and Mike Broomhead and BiS put on a great show.
Yeah, definitely been good fun there, as we saw the Meow Meow Kitty mug there from our very own Reece Gardner. Sorry, I got distracted. We got Richard, we got Reece, and eventually the Pit Road Productions crew as well. It sounds like Mike may have tentatively updated the standings. I do wonder if you try and get those on screen as well. But Richard, I don't think you should do that last race, and if we can get them standings up, we will. It looks like we're just about getting ready to grid. Richard, I suggest you get on there, buddy. I would definitely, especially with 0 incidents in the last race, have at it, bud. But hopefully we'll see you. If not, a huge congratulations and a great effort there on getting your first BiS podium as well during the IndyCar series.
Yeah, thanks, Zippy. No, I'm going to skip it. My back's spasming, and I don't want to be a hazard to guys battling for the championship.
Well, by all means, Richard, if you want to hang out and hear live in the booth, that's completely fine as well. Just put yourself on mute. You do you, buddy. Certainly feel better. I have a feeling some of the medicine you will do indeed apply for that. And we're not going to broadcast it, but it's fair to say he's going to be enjoying something of the baked variety, ladies and gentlemen, as we should probably get ready for this grid here for the final race of the BiS Doppler IndyCar Championship. And Michael Broomhead, your series organizer, starting on P1 alongside Phil Nels in P2. As we look at P3, Mauricio Parada of IndyCar Motorsports. He's going to be there alongside our very own Richard Swindells. I guess not. Richard, P4, get in there, man. P5 is going to see Assad Nakanabev alongside Clovis Girard, and heading back to the next row of P7, Cedric O'Hyan. We just saw his car a moment ago live on stream with Eric Fenton, the Australian driver, in P8. P9 gives us Clay Morris alongside Andrew Hartman, closing out your top 10.
In 11th place, Caden Goodridge with Ariane Pagadala starting alongside him. Jamie LeVay in lucky 13th. Kostek Solovye alongside him. Shane Larson going to start in 15th, and that will be ahead of John Benvalid and Matthew Mailman, the two Lima cars starting on the back couple of rows of the grid. They are getting ready to go in just about 25 seconds' time. And we'll get to go around Portland for another 30 laps. The track has cooled off a little bit. It's down to 93 Fahrenheit, that's 34 Celsius, and not much in the way of wind either. It's cloudy as well, so potentially we'll see a bit more pace from the soft tyres going a bit longer with a bit less sunlight hitting the racetrack. So wait for that grid to pull away. And while we're waiting for everyone to get this formation lap started, worth pointing out a bit of the history of this place. Originally, the site of this track was the town of Vanport. It was basically an industrial city that was constructed for workers in Portland during the 1940s and 50s. Unfortunately, there were massive floods in the decades following, and the city ended up completely submerged and abandoned. Once the water went away, though, local racers realized that some of the streets were pretty handy for racing, and that track that they raced on became Portland International Raceway. The start finished straight on the way up to the first turn, and the back section of the circuit, where it curves alongside the pond, used to be public roads.
But I'm definitely okay with that. Certainly, as much fun as it is to hoon a car on a public road, I definitely do feel a little bit safer on a racetrack. Certainly, I don't know about the people around me, but certainly that's my general preference, ladies and gentlemen. But this is going to be an absolute belter. We're going to have a 16-car grid for this final race, and I've got to say it's been an absolutely fantastic season. I've really enjoyed it. Certainly, the IndyCar is it's very unique for BiS. Certainly, it's the only one where you do indeed get ovals as well, the push to pass, and indeed tire strategy. There's so many more variables involved. It's not just a test of driver skill, but also of strategy, and it's been an absolute belter. Certainly. Very glad to see a couple of new names here, and indeed hopefully returning names here for the BiS series.
Yes, indeed. Looking forward to the future. Looks like we will be staying in single-seaters for the next BiS season as well. We will be able to get more information on that to you in the very near future. But for now, Broomhead and Nels on the front row here. Mauricio Parada and Assad Nakanabev stand a chance at getting a podium here if they can hold off the might of the cars trying to follow them. But Shane Larson in the box seat to win the championship. Don't forget there's 25 points for a win. And Larson was 29 points ahead of Solovye coming into the round with the win in race one. Larson, I think, would have to have an absolute disaster to lose the championship from here. And, okay, Phil is coming into the pits very early. They're in front of the pace car. That's messed up the start a little bit for everyone else, I think. Broomhead takes the green flag, and we are racing once again at Portland for the final time in the Doppler BiS Indycar Championship season. Broomhead attacking turn one. It's side by side behind for third. Clovis Girard trying to get past Assad Nakanabev. Our championship leader Shane Larson hasn't made up any positions for the moment on the first lap, and I think he's going to have to wait a while for that.
Yeah, If I was Shane Larson, I would definitely be taking it low risk, high reward. He's definitely got a lot to play for right now. As you see there, Broomhead is currently out in the P1 spot. Only managed to pull away about 5 tenths of a second. The gap gaining very, very slowly. But he's taking Mauricio Parada with him. You've seen the Cardenbev. He's potent. He's back there in third. All three drivers at the start of this grid on the softer tyre. The next three behind, fourth, fifth, and sixth, running the alternate tyres, ladies and gentlemen, the harder tyres, if my apologies there. It's going to be an interesting battle to see how this shapes out so far. Eric Fenson, the hard charger from the last round, can he find himself up and away onto the podium?
Well, up 3 spots already, and it's up 3 spots for championship leader Larson as well. He's found his way past Sauvier and Benvalid as we make our way onto the second lap. Big weaves further back there as Pagadala tries around the outside of Hardman into turn 1. Doesn't quite work, but things are starting to get leery here in the midfield. We have Pagadala, O'Hyan, and Goodridge all on the soft tyre, but that's not going to help Pagadala off at turn 4 and get side by side with Larson as they make their way up to turn 5. Larson's going to have to be careful here. He's decided to start on the hard tyre. Oh, almost 3 wide. This is tough here. The championship leader. Oh, he manages to find his way past, but that was almost disastrous for Larson.
Yeah, definitely if I was Larson, I would be absolutely smashing that push the pass button and saying, get me out of here. My plane ticket is booked and I want to take the express lane all the way to first class. Oh, fighting back. Wicked dive through there. What a pass. I gotta say, it was late, but it was good. As Larson, probably just as surprised as we are there, Pagadala takes that position back.
All right, I hope that my mic's not peaking as much anymore, but man, I cannot help but yell at this as Larson, Sauvier gets into it as well. Larson spins. Oh, no.
Oh, that was intense. I'm sorry, Larson. It does not go in your favor, but what a watch there. Certainly one of the Fury guys going to send it up on the inside. We're going to have to take a look at the replay there. It looks like Clovis Gerard has gotten caught in an incident as well.
Yeah, Gerard spinning. Meanwhile, we have Morris and LeVay chasing Goodridge and O'Hyan, the 2 cars up front on the soft tyres. And, well, we're going to be seeing a bit more battling between those 2 at the front of this fight. Fenson, meanwhile, has passed Nikardenbev for 3rd place. Now, with that incident for Larson, again, from my mental maths, he should still have the championship lead, even if he finishes back there. But, yeah, that's a bit of a blow for Larson, getting involved in the melee further down the field. For now, keep an eye on this fight, because here comes Hardman. Sorry, no, that's LeVay on the back of Clay Morris. And Pagadala is right on the back as well. Sauvier's starting to catch up too. The gaps are ebbing and flowing here.
Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted the first race to be, Reece. Certainly, indeed, the gloves are off, and it's certainly... no, I can't say that, but there is a certain budget, and I think some of that budget may have been expelled. The last race, indeed, the Teddies are indeed out the pram. The dummy has been spat out, and these guys are absolutely going to fight. I do see your requests for the standings in the chat, guys. I'm just checking on my resources. I do not see any updated ones. As you see, Pagadala going another battle there, this time with Jamie LeVay.
Yeah, trying side by side out of the final corner, but it looks like LeVay is going to win that for now. Synchronized passing here. Contact between Pagadala and LeVay. And Pagadala going deep, clattering over the curbs. LeVay completely cutting the first chicane. Clay Morris and Cedric O'Hyan trading spots just up ahead. This is insane here in the midfield.
Absolutely fantastic. So I've got to say, Pagadala putting in some fantastic fighting so far. You got to wonder as well, did he have the potential for that in race 1? Getting that early damage to the front wing certainly cost him. Is he going to do it again? Certainly he needs to keep that car clean. You see even more pressure, even tighter. We've got a big puff of smoke there. Who's
O'Hyan.
that?
It's O'Hyan.
Oh, yeah.
He spun. Well, we'll keep an eye on the side-by-side here. Pagadala getting squeezed to the wall, and they come together. The cars are locked together into turn 10, and Kostek Sauvier says, thank you very much, my friends. That's going to be 8th place for me.
You buy one, you get one free. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You buy one, you get one free. Now, this could be good news here for LeVay. Pagadala's just reset. Can LeVay limp that car back to the pits? Certainly going to take a little bit of a shortcut. I can't say that I blame him there. Definitely a bit of damage. You can see damage on the right side pod, indeed the right front wing as well. We'll have to take a look at that replay as Ian Pagadala did indeed tow to the pits as LeVay brings it down pit road.
That was a tough incident there. They were battling hard, but LeVay squeezed Pagadala into the wall there a bit, I think. There's not much compromise for concrete, and I mean, Pagadala was sticking to the inside as much as he could. So from LeVay's perspective here, he thinks he might be giving room, and then, yeah, Pagadala was alongside at that point. So I think that might be on Jamie LeVay there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it actually from Pagadala's point of view there, just to see how close to the wall he was. I think you may be right there. May indeed be at the fault of the 444. Generally, he's pretty good, pretty clean. As there you go. Here's a look from Pagadala's view. And yeah, I'm sorry, Jamie, that one is 100% you. But unless Pagadala's going to do, I don't know which NASCAR driver it was. I know one of you guys will do, where they literally rode the wall. I think it was Chastain, if I remember right.
Yes. Yep. Ross Chastain.
Actually, I just got a NASCAR fact right. That is intense. Christian, that's just probably made his year, ladies and gentlemen. I'm certainly a NASCAR fan. I just got one right. It took me a whole season, but yeah, that one there for Jamie LeVay. I'm sorry, buddy. I appreciate that's pretty much on you. Unlucky there for Pagadala.
Yeah, unfortunate. Well, they both come into the pit lane. Pagadala with a minute spent in there getting those repairs done, and the tow as well. So both of them on the soft tyre now as we keep our eye on the other soft tyre runners further up the field here. Goodridge and Nicardembev holding on to 4th and 5th, but Hardman and Morris are rapidly approaching, and they've got tyres that will be able to last a little longer here. Larson, meanwhile, has managed to find his way up to 9th, as that's way too deep there for Clay Morris. Yeah, I think at that point you might as well just not bother turning in for turn 1 if you're going to be going that deep.
He was making his own corner on that one, as you see here. Andrew Harmon very much in pursuit of the 230 of the Saab, Nicardembev. Certainly we've seen these guys battle early on. How's it going to go again? Both of these tyres, different tyre strategy as well. It is indeed the hard versus the softs. And this time, Andrew Hardman being on the hard tyre. But honestly, the more I look at it, I think the hard's actually doing a little bit better here at Portland today.
Yeah, looks like it. It's a rapid circuit, and because it's so short, despite the fact that it has 2 reasonably long straights, I think you actually got to run quite a bit of downforce around here. So that's a lot of load being put through these tyres, not to mention the very harsh curbs around here as well. So keeping your pace up on the hard tyres does seem to be a bit easier. Hardman chasing down Assad Nicardembev here, as Kostek Sovier is the first driver to have a scheduled pit stop in this race, and he's spending a bit long. No, he hasn't actually stopped yet. He's still in the lane. Well, we'll keep our eye on Hardman and Nicardembev for now, and yeah, it looks like Hardman is the picture of consistency there on the hard tyre. Here's Eric Fenson, meanwhile. He's already found his way up to 3rd, and he's looking at the back of Mauricio Parada and Michael Broomhead.
Certainly Fenson has indeed been a potent driver here today. The man from down under for Entropy Sim Sports has been doing a fantastic stuff. He was hard charger in the first race. He started at the back of the grid. If we have a look now, he's not the hard charger, but he's certainly putting in a good run. He's gone all the way up to P3. Right now, he's sat on the podium, but can he deliver? He's got Parada ahead. The battle for P2 is very much getting underway. Mike Broomhead just a little bit further up the lead. It's very much not secured yet by the 00.
Yeah, and worth pointing out, Fenson is on the primary tyres. Broomhead and Parada are on the alternates. Broomhead also having some connection issues as well. But it's around about that sort of 9-10 lap mark where the soft tyres start to lose their edge. These harder tyres can go a bit longer and maintain their pace. Have a look at that. Fenson's working the wheel hard, but it seems Parada's working it even harder and catching up a little bit at the apex of the hairpin. It's all about the exit here. Fenson's on push to pass. In fact, all of the top 3 are on push to pass at the moment. Fenson catching some slipstream off Parada. I don't know if he's going to be able to make the move here into turn 10. Parada goes to fence it anyway, and Fenson deciding to back out of it and have another go somewhere else.
You see the drivers just flirting with the grass, flirting with the curving at that point as they're making their way down the start-finish straight. It looks like battles happening throughout the field. P1 to P3. It looks like there's no one further back between Clay Morris and Shane Larson as well. Larson, I'm wondering how much further can he make his way up the field. As you see right now, Fenson being under some pressure there as well. It looks like he's got a... I thought that was... No,
that's LeVay. That's Jamie LeVay down in 14th, lap traffic.
Oh, damn it. I was going to say, if like Andrew Hartman, he's not meant to be there. Like, definitely not how they saw this race going. Certainly LeVay having a bit unfortunate. I believe Ian Pagadala has indeed disconnected. Phil Nels running at the back of the field. But right now, looks like Larson hot on the pursuit there of Clay Morris. Less than 2 tenths in it as we've got the battle happening now. Is Fenson going to be able to make his way past Mauricio Parada? It looks like we're going to have a freeway fight going on.
Yeah, LeVay on fresh, soft tyres as Fenson gets the move done on Parada. Brilliant job, great pass, and Fenson is up to second place. Parada going to have to deal with LeVay here, who he may be a lap down, but he has those fresh tyres, and he's certainly got the pace to run with these guys. So keep an eye out for him potentially in the next couple of laps. Fenson, though, is going to set his sights on Michael Broomhead. 11 laps done on these tyres for the moment, and I think Broomhead will start to struggle on those alternates.
Yeah, certainly the tyres are indeed a key thing here. But you see here, Mauricio Parada currently under attack, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I say under attack. Jamie LeVay looking to try and make his way, get himself unlapped, ladies and gentlemen. And he's definitely got the pace, but is he going to be able to get by? It's one of those... Ooh. Oh, okay, he's back. We're good. It's one of those things where, you know, it can be a little bit of a hostile topic for some of the drivers there, because realistically, he's a lapped car. But you know what? If he's quicker, he's got every right to try and unlap himself. Fair play to him, but certainly can get people a little bit hot under the collar as well.
Yeah, certainly can. Pit stops complete for Shane Larson, championship leader. He's come back out in 11th place overall. That's not corrected. We still have yet to see pit stops from more than half of the field as LeVay is trying to find his way past Mauricio Parada here. But Shane Larson... Oh, no! Okay. Right. Mauricio Parada will be none too happy about that, I think. LeVay was fast, but I don't think that move was on.
Yeah, definitely LeVay maybe getting a little bit of the red mist going here. Parada's not going to be too thrilled about it. Able to hold on to P5. Definitely got a little bit of a little bit of nudge, a little bit of damage there, perhaps. As who on earth is this? Jose Miguel. Zippy makes me hot under the collar. Oh. Alrighty then.
There we go.
I've pulled.
Yeah, finally. Good job.
I don't know, it might not be one I want to keep. How could they compete with you, Reese?
Oh, I appreciate that. Eric Fenson then catching up further to Michael Broomhead, and looks like a bit further in terms of lap traffic. I think that might be Nels just out ahead of them. Gets swiftly out of the way. And Fenson right on the back of our leader now. I was going to say that Larson has completed his stop. Nakadembev also has as well. And Kostek Soavier jumping the both of them with a 3-lap undercut on fresh, soft tyres. Further issues for Broomhead, meanwhile. We'll see if Eric Fenson is filled with any kind of confidence here. So this is the problem for Fenson. Not only is the car ahead of him having connection issues, but Fenson is racing from here in Australia, and this is an American server that we're racing on. So there's a little bit of latency to keep an eye out for as Parada gets clobbered by Larson next.
I feel sorry for the guy. Like, he's getting beaten hard and put away wet at this point. Poor Parada is getting absolutely just checked into the boards, ladies and gentlemen. So that's 2 hockey references as he goes through a little bit of a diagram there. I definitely think he's going to be looking for a few drivers to end up in the penalty box. And it's fair to say Parada has, at this point, just checked out. That car is suffering a little bit there. It's fair to say it's seen better days. As Cedric O'Hyan has just picked up a black flag.
Yeah, it looks like he sped into the pits, unfortunately, it looks like, for Cedric O'Hyan. You'll certainly be familiar with that, Zippy. Eric Fenson, meanwhile, still chasing down Broomhead for the lead, and Andrew Hartman chasing down Caden Goodridge here for 3rd place. Got to be gentle on your way into turns 10 and 11. I find that you can carry a ton of speed through these corners, but you've got to be gentle. Otherwise, the curbs will grab you, the grass will grab you. That was, I think is that Clovis Girard that's off there? I think it is. Yeah, Girard. He just towed back to the pit lane, and I think that was him stopped on the grass.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what exactly happened to Clovis. We've got a little bit of a picture here of the car who's trying to help out in the real world. Definitely, maybe not my favorite way to show it here. Let's try and find out exactly what happened. So here you can see he's gone around, backed it up off the racing line. There goes Broomhead and Fenson. Go a little bit further back here. And
okay. So he got sucked into the concrete wall, and that just created a ton of damage for him. And the bumps across the infield there. He tried to keep control, but that's a messy incident there for Clovis Girard.
Yeah, I always wonder if that was a little bit of a hardware failure. He's generally he'll run close to the wall, but he's a little bit on the safer side. As you just see in the bottom right of the corner, very briefly there, we had the two cars he was getting to work on for SPC, the Super Production Challenge. So where I had the pleasure of getting to meet him, ladies and gentlemen. But we do indeed return to the action, and right now it looks like Caden Goodridge is under attack. There you go. There's the cars. Jonathan Mansur and indeed Vincent Berfumeur. I had the pleasure of commentating on that racing. Certainly a little bit of self-promotion. I've got absolutely no guilt in doing it, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic stuff. The biggest event I've called in real life. And got to see Clovis down there as well. Just want to give them a little bit of a shout out. I know Clovis will definitely be keen to give them a shout out as well, and definitely helps promote BiS and indeed Pit Road Productions. So thank you again to CC Motorsports' very own Clovis Girard in the 827.
Yes, well, top four battles still raging here. The battle for first and the battle for third in very close competition on the racetrack. Now, when do Broomhead and Goodridge decide to pit? They've been out on those soft tyres now for 16 laps, and I think now has got to be the time, surely. But no, Broomhead's going to stay out another lap here. Fenson's advantage, I think, is just going to keep growing here because he's got soft tyres to change to in the stop. Broomhead's going to be stuck on the hards when he comes in.
Yeah, definitely is. I actually feel like Broomhead's backing up the field a little bit at the minute, and fair play to him. You know, defensive driving, definitely something under my belt that I definitely like to pull out and use against the enemy as much as possible. As you see there, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Broomhead, the magician at this point, as Eric Benson, realistically, all he can do is try and hold on to the back wing of Broomhead. He's got a little bit of pressure behind him, but realistically, Caden Goodridge in third is about 3 seconds back. If I was Fenson, I would honestly consider trying to pit early right now, but where he's got the harder tyres, if he pits too early, he's going to struggle on the soft, so he's trying to make it down the outside here against Broomhead.
And he gets it done. He's passed before they get to the braking point, what little braking point there is. And I think Broomhead's going to have to respond by coming into the lane now. No, he's not going to. Why haven't you pitted yet, Mike?
Well, I have just got a message from Clovis Girard. I was right. He did indeed have a hardware failure, ladies and gentlemen. His computer crashed. So fair play to him. It's not what he had in mind, as Fenson has indeed managed to make his way by. As Broomhead, looking to try and make his way into another dimension potentially here in the 00.
Yeah, not ideal there for Mr. Michael Broomhead. Goodridge, meanwhile, has managed to get a bit of a gap over Andrew Hardman. They've both been pushing hard. It's another battle of hard tyre versus soft tyre, but it looks like Goodridge has been able to hold on to his pace a little better than Mike Broomhead has, and Hardman hasn't quite been able to get that pressure up. We also see that Kostek Sauvier and Shane Larson are fighting for 6th place, and Larson has recently taken the fastest lap of the race, so yet another point in the bag for the championship leader as Broomhead finally comes into the pit lane. Finally, after 18 laps on those soft tyres. They must be screaming for mercy by now. Clay Morris follows him in.
This is going to be the opportunity that Fenson has been looking for. He's got a bit of clean air. Can he try and capitalize on that? He's currently the lead car right now. Actually, only got 3 drivers left to pit. Hardman, Goodridge, and Fenson are still remaining out, still managing to keep that going. And actually, Goodridge is still running those softer tires right now, so he's potentially on borrowed time.
Yeah. Well, cloud coming over the circuit, and despite a little oversteer struggle, Goodridge will be glad that there's no sun hitting the racetrack right now. We'll keep the temperatures down just a little bit of those soft tyres, but further laps to be done for Eric Fenson and Andrew Hardman. Coming up on 10 laps to go for our race leader, and that's right in the margin for the optimal stint for the soft tyres. Goodridge decides it's time to switch to the hards, but Fenson and Hardman, they are going to have a major advantage here, and we'll see what advantage Larson has over Sauvier here. Larson on fresher tyres, they are both on the softs. Let's see if Larson can find his way past Sauvier for fourth.
Sauvier has indeed been very potent this evening. Fair play to him. He's definitely been looking for a good fight. He's getting very close. Both of these drivers almost grazing the wall, similar to what we see at the Wall of Champions. And right behind him, we've got Michael Broomhead under attack now from Assad Nikarnabev. Now we know Assad is not afraid to put his elbows out, as there goes Caden Goodridge emerging from the pits. He's going to be at the front of that battle, and you see there Assad able to get the move done on the inside there of turn one.
Yeah, good stuff there from Nikarnabev. Got tyres nicely heated up at this point, and Broomhead will have to get them up to temperature. Of course, IndyCar doesn't use tyre warmers. So Eric Fenson comes into the lane. He's going to be switching to fresh soft tyres. They will take a bit less time to heat up than the hards, but again, they'll be starting at ambient temperature. So could be on here for the lead if Fenson has issues getting back up to speed.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's going to be a few different strategies playing out as we've got battles happening throughout the field. Hardman definitely closing in. He's, I say closing in, they're both doing the pit cycle right now. As you see there, Hardman up off the jacks. He's having a nice little, sweet little burnout there as the back end just sliding around here. But I do wonder how it's going to play out in the long run. Certainly, Fenson's been great at making those positions up as he emerges from the pits. And there's Caden Goodridge. Now we know Goodridge is definitely not afraid to have a battle.
Too much curb for Andrew Hardman. Too much curb at turn one. He would have seen that Sauvier and Larson had already found their way past. So that battle for fourth I was talking about has now become a battle for second. They found their way past Hardman and Goodridge. Nikarnabev now right on the back of Goodridge. And, well, Assad has tyres that have had a bit more of a chance to heat up, but he's still struggling for traction on the exit of the hairpin.
He's found the limit of grip, and I think he's trying to find maybe even a little bit more there as Broomhead was able to pull away oh so very slightly. Actually, my apologies, Caden Goodridge able to pull away oh so very slightly, ladies and gentlemen. Almost got that gap up to a second now. If we take a quick look at the push to pass as well, all of these drivers getting a hard on it. Actually, the only drivers with a good amount of reserve actually be Andrew Hardman and John Bemberlin and Jamie LeVay. Now, LeVay definitely had a little bit of a tangle earlier on. I do wonder right now, though, he's in P10. Does he potentially have the opportunity to make I think Larson's fair play to him. Larson's probably got the hand on the trophy, you say, but can Jamie LeVay get his hand on the second half of the trophy? Well, indeed, the second half, the second step of the championship.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for him because he's battling with Kostek Sauvier for it, and Sauvier is currently ahead of Larson in this race, and backing that up with a second place in race one as well for Kostek. So I think it's going to be difficult for LeVay. Morris versus Nikarnabev then. Nikarnabev going to defend into turn 10, gives plenty of space here to Clay Morris, and has the inside. Oh man, this is good. Morris on fresh soft tyres though, so he has a pace advantage. We're going to have to keep an eye on the front of the field as well, because Sauvier and Larson, they were catching up to Fenson, but they've been on those soft tyres for 15 and 12 laps respectively. Fenson on super fresh softs, and it looks like he's just switched them on. We'll keep an eye on the battle for fifth for now though, because Nikarnabev looks like he might be in trouble.
Yeah, I could have sworn that car was on two wheels just a second there, Reese. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's certainly getting very aggressive with the curve to the point that he was almost like a small doggy there, cocking his leg as he went up and over the corner. And right now, Clay Morris is going to be very aware of that, and he's going to see how hard Nikarnabev is pushing. He's looking to try and get alongside. He's trying to get in there right there on the curve. Now, we saw this work out very badly earlier for Ian Pagadala and Jamie LeVay. These guys leaving a little bit more space, but can Clay Morris get it done? It's going to be Nikarnabev on the inside, able to hold off, but for how long? Morris hot in pursuit.
Yeah, this is a great battle. They're keeping it clean, but they are racing hard. Fastest lap goes to Eric Fenson, 58.9. Great pace from our leader as Morris gets up the inside to turn 1. Braking zone, and Bev has to yield there. Morris carries the speed through the middle of the chicane, and he is up into 5th. That was a great battle between the two of them.
Absolutely fantastic battles indeed. The battle is indeed continuing to emerge. It looks like Nakanobev is on the harder compound of tyres. So is this exactly what Clay Morris needs? Can he try and put the foot down, try and catch up to Caden Goodrich? He's about 1.4 seconds ahead. Shane Larson up ahead of him, another 3 seconds, but with just 5 laps to go, every point is going to matter here for the final of the BiS Doppler IndyCar Championship.
Yep, as we enter the final 4 laps of this race, we have 3 battles in the top 10, between Sauvier and Larson for 2nd, Morris and Bev still close for 5th, and Broomhead and Hardman fighting for P7. Bev clattering over the curbs there, going very wide through the final corner. Not ideal. I think that's going to end things between himself and Clay Morris, at least for now, unless Morris catches up to Goodrich and they slow each other up. Larson, meanwhile, well, he's got less push to pass available than Sauvier, but he's starting to round him up. Larson, don't forget, pitted 3 laps before Sauvier did, so he has a little bit more to give in these soft tyres, but man, they are running them to the ragged edge, aren't they?
Oh, it's very much a now or never, and definitely in sim racing you can indeed live forever unless you're Clovis Gerard, in which case he had the equivalent of an engine failure in a sim, by which his computer crashed, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely a bit unfortunate for him, but certainly Shane Larson in that 31. He's had a fantastic season so far. It'd be good to finish on the podium, not just that, on the top step of the podium, but right now Eric Fenson 3.8 seconds ahead of this battle here for P2.
Yeah, Fenson got those soft tyres switched on, and now he has them in their prime phase. There's nothing that Larson and Sauvier can do to catch up. They can only fight with each other. And can Larson make the pass on Sauvier is the question. See how much he's running to the ragged edge through turn 1 there. These cars going all the way down to first gear for the chicane. And, well, those twin-turbo V6s, they spool up and they leave a big fat number 11 on their way out of a lot of these corners. I love seeing IndyCar race around here.
It does indeed sound like my comrade has a very limited throttle control, ladies and gentlemen, more of an on-off switch perhaps. As we see here, Shane Larson's currently there in P3. He's dropped back a little bit actually to Kostek, about 5-6 tenths of a second now, the gap, and Fenson's pulled ahead a bit more as well, the gap all the way up to about 4 seconds as well. I can let you know as well, Andrew Hardman did indeed make his way past the 0-0 of Michael Broomhead, and is indeed starting to pull away by quite a considerable margin actually. I wonder if Broomhead did indeed have an off track.
Yeah, looks like it. Sauvier and Larson up 11 places each, and you can always count on these guys to find their way forward in the second race with the field invert, but it's still a very impressive run indeed. We'll keep an eye on proceedings as they make their way around to what should be the final lap in about 1 lap's time. Seeing 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining on the timer. So actually, looks like we might go an extra lap here. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, definitely, and I can tell you as well that Clay Morris has indeed managed to close the gap down onto the back of Caden Goodrich. It is indeed a battle of soft versus hard, ladies and gentlemen, and indeed it looks like Clay Morris has got that tyre advantage right now. He's on the softer compound, and they're on about a similar amount of time on the tyres as well as Shane Larson. Now he's in a similar battle. You see both of these battles almost in the same picture, ladies and gentlemen, 2 by 2 as Larson looking to put a nose up the inside, almost makes contact, and a fantastic defensive job there by the 64 Kostek, barely hanging on as we look further back as well. More battles going on, but right now Shane Larson looking to try and make his way up into P2.
Yeah, that was an interesting attempt at a dive there into turn 1. It was covered off nicely by Kostek Sauvier. Clay Morris, meanwhile, well, 9-lap-old soft tyres versus 8-lap-old hards for Caden Goodrich. Morris has the pace advantage here. Can he take advantage of it fully? Nice straight exit out of the hairpin, but I don't think it's going to be enough for a full move into turns 9 and 10, as Eric Fenson's going to come around to start the final lap of the race. Now the pressure's going to be on here for Clay Morris. He has to find his way past Goodridge, get into fourth, get those extra points. Same for Sauvier and Larson as well. Larson with one hand on the championship trophy. Can he finish it with a second place?
Right now, Morris is going to have to make a dive, and he's made it. And the problem is he made a little bit of contact there as well. Both these cars able to survive, and we've certainly seen Clay Morris. He's had a little bit of a battle with the brakes going into turn one, and definitely, thankfully, both of these cars able to stay under control, but definitely went in a little bit hot there, doing a little bit more of the Daniel Zippy Salmon move. If it's 2 cars back, if it's 3 cars back, even if it's 1 car back, it's fair game. And look right behind him as well. Nicardo got a front row seat for this action. Larson there, still in P3, looking to make a move as Morris is indeed fighting back right up under the rear wing of Caden Goodrich.
Yeah, this is a very tight battle, but we have to give our race winner his dues here. An incredible drive from Eric Fenson. Didn't set a lap time in practice, didn't set a lap time in qualifying, but has come through to win the final race of the season. And Kostek Sauvier will finish in second place ahead of our champion, Shane Larson. Drag race to the line. Morris just passes Goodrich before the line.
I think that was a thousandth of a second in it, Reese. Like,
wow.
I'd watch a replay of that.
3,000ths of a second, says Christian Hill behind the scenes. Goodness gracious me. But that blue car right there is the real star of the show here. Shane Larson, he battled Kostek Sauvier all the way to the end, came into this round as the championship leader, got the fastest lap in race 1, pole position for race 1, and well, finishing on the podium in race 2, I think we can tentatively confirm Shane Larson as your champion. 25 BiS Doppler IndyCar Championship. Man, what an incredible season it has been.
Absolutely, and certainly I've just dragged Mike Broomhead into the booth. We're going to let him hear what we're up to, ladies and gentlemen, and he can definitely let us know in the chat when the official points do indeed go live. Certainly pending any incident reviews as well. But I think it's fair to say I'm inclined to agree with you. I think this man, he's worked hard all season. He's had a good couple of clean races as well. And if I was him, he's gone on the drag strip. Oh, here you go, Reese. This is your right now.
Here we go then. See what kind of launch Shane Larson can get on those very worn soft tires. 19 laps old. There's not going to be much traction in that car, but well, Larson will certainly be happy with how proceedings have gone for him here. Can he get the launch right? Yes, he can. These cars don't usually do standing starts, so yeah, you've got to keep an eye out for that. And it looks like that might be Phil Nels, who's doing some donuts on the start-finish line as well to end off the season. And these donuts will taste especially sweet for Shane Larson. Man, I mean, he was. It's been a difficult season, to be sure. There's been loads of different winners, and it hasn't always been clear who has the big advantage. But Shane Larson has been the most consistent of all the competitors throughout the season, and the driver who's won the most races.
Certainly he has. He's been an absolute machine, but it's fair play to him. There's been a lot of great competition here. But as much as these guys are celebrating, if they are indeed got the broadcast in their ear, this is just a subtle hint that we would like to interview you. So politely get your rear ends in here. Certainly not the wing, but I'm thinking more of your humanly self here. We'd love to have a chat with you. But we should probably go over the results here for this final race.
Yeah, we want your gluteus maximuses in the chair sitting with us. Eric Fenson is going to win the final race of the season. Kostek Sauvier and Shane Larson, our champion-elect, in third place. Clay Morris beating Caden Goodrich to the line by a mere 0.003 of a second. That was a great fight with them to the very end. Asad Nakadembev rounds out your top 6. Then it was Hardman, Broomhead, and Benvalid, last finishers on the lead lap. Jamie LeVay, probably not making too many friends out there in the final round, finishes a lap down after a few incidents. Cedric O'Hyan joining him a lap down. Phil Nels 4 laps down. And then we had Mailman 6 laps from the end retire. We had retirements for Parada, Girard, and Pagadala. Richard Swindell's not taking to the start. So it looks like we have our race winner for race 2 in the booth with us, Zippy, Eric Fenson.
I gotta be honest, Reese. I feel you should. I feel you should take this one Australian to
All right.
Australia, and have at it, buddy.
All right, fair enough. Eric, been a while since we've had a chance to chat to you. First seeing you in LMP3 competition in the Australian leagues, but jumping into the IndyCar, it's been a rough season, but it must be great to cap it off with a win here at Portland.
Yeah, it has been a rough season, but yeah, finally put it all together. Bit of luck, good pace. Not in the first race, screwed that up, but yeah, good strategy in the second one, and did all right.
Yeah, it's a short circuit, so lapped traffic was always going to be a factor. How did you find it out there?
Lap traffic was pretty easy. They all got out of the way relatively quickly, which is nice.
And, well, considering that competition is far from over at BIS for the whole year, will we expect you to see, or will we expect to see you in the next series coming up?
Yeah, hopefully. I think we're running F3 next season, so should be fun.
Excellent stuff. All right. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Eric. Congratulations on putting the cherry on top of your season here in Portland. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, all the boys at Entropy Sim Sports, Player One Sim Gear, Oz Water Filtration, and yeah, you guys for putting great broadcast together, and Mike for the season.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Thanks very much, Eric. And, well, we'll catch you when we catch you, whenever that may be.
Cheers, boys.
All right, Eric Fenson there. And Zippy, I think I can confirm that the points have been updated on our spreadsheet that Michael has provided to us. So I'll leave it to you to congratulate our series champion.
Say, Shane, absolutely fantastic season, a fantastic evening of racing. Tell us a little bit about the emotion, the tension you were feeling in the closing rounds of this race.
Absolute delight. I mean, I can't say anything else. It was a fantastic season, ups and downs. I mean, this last race, that's what I wanted to race in this series for. It's been great racing all season, Yeah, just super stoked.
Put on a very good show indeed. We certainly enjoyed watching it, and definitely had a good selection of podiums as well. Fair play to you, and it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. But tell us, what's probably been your favorite track or favorite particular moment here for the BiS Doppler IndyCar Championship 2025?
In all seriousness, this last race, haven't ever done a lap at Portland, and I just knew I had to prepare. I was like, this is it. This is the moment. I did maybe 300 plus laps of practice. I knew I had to capitalize here. Got pulled by 2/10, ran away the first race, apart from the little incident with Wing. And then race 2, just sticking right there with Caustic, battle for the championship. It can't get any better than that. And Portland, top 5 track for me now. That is a blast to rip around.
Well, it's fair to say we're going to have to bring you up to speed. It is indeed on the Shane Larson Princess Approved list, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly myself, if it's a good track, it goes on the Princess Approved list. Shane, you've now been brought into the fold on that one. But certainly you've been brought into another fold as well. A championship winner. What an absolutely fantastic achievement. Certainly any podium is indeed a challenging race here at BiS and indeed on Pit Road Productions as well. We've been here since the start, ladies and gentlemen. If we weren't broadcasting it, we were racing in it. So it's actually where I started my commentary debut. So sorry about that. You can blame Mike Broomhead, I guess, for that one. But it's definitely a fantastic moment for you, and certainly we're looking forward to seeing you in some of the other BiS championships. Certainly we've got the Formula 3 coming up next. But Shane, is there anybody you'd like to shout out for your season success?
Shout out to everyone who raced. I mean, everyone was great. This community was great to see, chat, and get along with. And yeah, props to Caustic and to RN and everyone else who was in the championship fight for this last race. And again, I always would like to thank my team and all they do, and all the support and all the things that go on in the background, and just everyone watching, and you guys for an amazing broadcast and series this season. And yeah.
Well, it's definitely been a well-deserved championship win. Shane, obviously we're going to have in the fall, we tend to have the BiS Radical Canada Cup. Do you think we can see you expanding into some other BiS series as well?
Yeah, quite possibly. I love the radicals, so any day I can go drive one of those, yeah, I'll be there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you better watch out because your 2025 BIS Doppler IndyCar Championship winner in the number 31 car, Mr. Shane Larson. A huge congratulations to him. And what I say, what an absolutely fantastic season. Well done.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
Polite applause from me as well. Well done, Shane, and hopefully we see you on the track again soon. Well, Zippy, it looks like that's going to round things off for the season. And goodness me, I mean, I'm always hyped when IndyCar comes around. Mike Broomhead's here with us for final few words to close out the season. It went off great, Mike, and seeing Portland added, I was really looking forward to it from the very start of the season.
Yeah, like in the 80s and 90s, watching the champ cars around here was always so much fun. And to see iRacing come out with this track, it had to be on there, really. Obviously, at the time, we were sort of thinking, should we do IndyCar again? And it never disappoints. These cars are so much fun to drive, so much fun to race. Everybody's competitive. It can go any way. There's a lot of tools to play with, push to pass and all that, different tire compounds. So it's kind of the best of everything, really.
Yeah, certainly is. And, well, I suppose you guys at BIS are moving on to what's next. There was recently a vote in the Discord about what car you'd be using for the next season of racing, and it looks like we're going to be going Formula 3.
Yeah, so a lot of us that were there at the beginning in BIS competition started together in I guess, PRL, and we did a lot of F3 races there. We learned to get along with each other. We learned to, dislike each other at times, but ultimately it was one experience. So Flying Husky Racing too, which I think you were at
Yes.
for rounds. And it was always the F3 car. And so we wanted something fun and something a bit traditional to return to. But we did have a vote for the new car versus the old car. And the old car won. So the Dallara F3, I think it's F317, that has been around for a long time, will be the car of choice. It's a lot of fun to drive and a lot of fun to race as well.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll be able to bring you that very soon here on Pit Road Productions. Scan the QR code here to join the Discord BIS Formula 3, starting very soon, Zippy.
I'm definitely looking forward to it as well. Thankfully, we're going to keep me off the track and in the commentary booth on that one. Reese, I'm hoping it's going to be very much the same with you. Often we have, on occasion, we have lost you to go out on track, and albeit maybe a little bit of a shove at some point from me. Reese, drive this. And certainly Long Beach and an AMG, he was very much down, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. The Radicals, I've got to admit, is what I'm looking forward to most. Certainly very much looking forward to that. And, obviously we've got the real life prize as well, but I gotta say, what an absolutely fantastic season again, and a huge thanks to the sponsors, to everybody who's took part as well, to Mike, to yourself, Reese, to Christian as well, and indeed to all of you watching at home, ladies and gentlemen. By all means, if you want to share this on your socials, go for it. I don't mean specifically me and needing to shave. I mean, Reese doesn't need to shave. He can own the fact I just have this, but. Yeah, no, he's manly. I'm just, cat first. But certainly, if you want to share the broadcast videos, 100% get up on that and as well. And again, a quick reminder as well: check out Lima Racing Official on Instagram. They got a giveaway there for a couple of silver tickets there for the Toronto Indy. Definitely if you're going to go to any event, I'm trying to think of the best way to go. And don't get me wrong, a race weekend is cool, but a race weekend at a street circuit is just like other level. Because I mean, literally, you can drive the track unofficially. You get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Obviously,
yes.
Follow the speeding laws, ladies and gentlemen, and pedestrians are 50 points. But definitely some good fun there. But I guess we should probably bring this season and indeed this show to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We're going to be back very soon with the BIS Formula 3 Championship. That's all from me, Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the commentary booth today, Mr. Reese Gardner, the Southpaw Race as well. Check him out on Twitch, ladies and gentlemen, by all means, if you want to see this man wheel a vintage car. He's pretty handy at that as well. And indeed, our very own producer, Mr. Christian Hill. But again, thank you very much for watching, and we're going to see you next season for more from BIS.
Goodbye.